What's going on, world? It's another episode of Open the Box there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kill, and I'm with my man, Matt. You may know him as Cerebral Kicks on Instagram. What's going on, man?
I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to show you guys my collection. It's been a long time coming. This is something I've been wanting to do for a really long time.
Right. And I think what people will get out of this and what people will be inspired by is that you had the bravery and the fearlessness to come out and show what you wear, even though you have the walkers and stuff like that.
You know, I can't let something so small stop me from doing what I love and making sure I look good all the time.
Yeah. So cool, man. Let's go check it out. So tell me about the page Cerebral Kicks. How did it start? When did you start it? And pretty much why?
I started it on March 12th of this year, which is pretty crazy. It kind of blew up overnight. Daniel, aka One-Legged Lister, I'm sure everyone knows who he is. If they don't, they need to check him out because he's really awesome and he's got an awesome collection. But I hit him up and said, hey man, I just want to let you know that you inspired me to start this page because I was previously uncomfortable showing my disability, whether it be the canes or the walker or whatever. He had like 50,000 followers at the time, and I'm like, there's no way this dude's gonna hit me back. Hit me back right away, follow me right away. Next day I post my first picture. I start tagging people that I've been following for a while. I'm getting followers like maybe like 30, 40. Next day, well, he posted it, and then all of a sudden 1,200 followers like that. And every time I refresh my phone, plus 10, plus 12, plus 3. Like, it's crazy. Urban Necessities, which is a shop that I looked up to for a long time, they got wind of it. They reposted me to their 300,000. That got me like another 500. Shoe Butter hit me up right away. I was like, man, I want you to be a part of this. And then it just started rolling from there. And you know, it's the internet. I get comments sometimes here and there like, you know, that I end up deleting because I don't delete it because of me. I'm not deleting it because of like, I don't want people to see it. I delete it because like I just don't want that on my page. It's just negativity. I don't want negativity on my page.
And describe CP. What happened?
I was born 2 months early. I was born in April instead of June. In a way, that's honestly a good thing because I've never known anything different. So for me, it's normal. Like I know some people have lived a normal life and they get in an accident and then they're disabled and they don't really know how to deal with it because they remember how life was before they were disabled. I never let it stop me from doing what I love and doing what I want to do. Even when I had to wear corrective braces, I made sure to get Jordans to put over the corrective braces because I'm like, if I have to wear these, I'm gonna make them look fresh. So I've been collecting my whole life, but this collection is from 2010 and up. So basically when my foot stopped growing, I started going to all the releases, started putting my names in all the raffles. Obviously, there's a lot of dope people in the sneakerhead community, but it's like anything else, there's dope people and not so dope people. So one time I was lined up at my local Champs, and I can't remember what release it was, but I was walking up to go into the store to get the pair, and this kid goes, "Why does he need new Jordans?" And my mom was actually with me, and she basically looked at him and said, "What did you just say?" And the kid got so scared that he said, "Oh, nothing," and ran. But I mean, that's another thing, like I said, about not caring. I just don't care because there's always going to be negative people. You can't please everybody. Not everybody's going to want to mess with you, want to be down with you. So once I learned that honestly changed my life.
Let's get into this sneaker talk. Let's get into all these shoes you have. And here's the thing that I like about, you know, what we've talked about even off camera is you have stories for these shoes.
So yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's not a limited pair. But this, you know, the Kyrie 1 Deceptive Reds, I think they're called. For most people, this is just a GR. But for me, it took me a long time to get my driver's license. So for me, I actually wore these on the day that I got my driver's license. So every time I look at these, that's all I see. And I actually thought about retiring them, but I like them too much. I thought about putting them in a glass case and putting the date on it and stuff like that. These things mean the world to me now because driving was like a big obstacle for me because it was something I thought I might never get to do. The next story I have is my first week on Instagram, Big Deal Phil _ on Instagram if anyone wants to check him out. He DM'd me, I think the first day, and we just started talking about just shoes in general. And then he said, hey man, DMs get a little crazy, text me. So we started texting, talking about sneakers. And then he just asked me, like, if you could have any shoe, what would you want? And obviously, I mean, I'm thinking small. I'm thinking like, you know, just what would I want if I was paying for it. So I said the black OVO 12s, and he knew my size because it was in my bio. and 20 minutes goes by, and I get a screenshot from the GOAT app with the size 9 OVO 12 on it. And he said, happy early birthday, because it was about 3 weeks before my birthday. And I looked at it like, what? Like, what do you mean? He goes, I just got them for you. And I was like, I can't take that. Like, that's like $700. I can't take that as a gift. He goes, oh, don't worry about it, man. He was like, you're my little brother now. Like, I got you. A few weeks go by and they came, and it was unbelievable. And honestly, I'm afraid to wear them at this point because they mean more to me than the shoe itself.
In regards to the CP, is there a shoe in here that's most comfortable?
It honestly depends on the cut of the shoe. Obviously, I have gotten into more Ultra Boost lately because of the boost, but I've always been a Jordan Nike guy. So for me, I'm always gonna find a way to wear J's. I'll deal with a little bit of discomfort if it means I'm rocking J's. I don't look at it and see the shoe. I look at it and see like what Mike played in it. Like, so for like the Flu Game 12s, I look at that and see the Flu Game. Like I've watched the full Flu Game, so I look at it and see the highlights from that game. And then the Taxi 12s, same thing. And then the Bread 11s I see in the 96 finals. I put the sports knowledge behind it. It's not just about the sneakers for me, for pretty much every shoe in this room. One of the craziest stories from the first week of my Instagram, I posted a picture in these with the jersey to match. I just tagged Michael Vick. I said, why not? Like, you know, it never hurts to tag somebody. Probably 4 days goes by. It got a bunch of likes. It got like 1,200 likes. I'm sitting at the Celtics game. My dad's with me. I look at my phone. It's going crazy. And I see Mike Vick like your post, Mike Vick like your post, Mike Vick like your post. He literally went through and liked all my pictures that were on my page at the time. He commented on the one of these in his jersey and said, salute bro, much love, or something like that. And then I was like, oh, that's awesome. Then I realized he didn't just comment and like on it, he reposted it on his page and wrote a whole paragraph to me. On my original post, I told a story about when I was 8. Some kid asked me if I was bothered that I had wheels. And I said, no, it just means I'm faster than everybody else, like Michael Vick. So he wrote me this whole long thing. And the coolest part was he finished it with, if you feel like me, then I feel like you. The support has been unbelievable. And I can't wait to keep growing it. Like, it's not just for me, just I want to be able to do a lot of dope things for the community and make a lot of dope stuff and just have a good time with it. 3 years ago, I was sitting downstairs on my couch watching the sneak peek you did with Perfect Pair, I believe it was. I showed my friend, I'm like, you gotta see this collection, this is insane. And we're watching it, and I'm sitting there and I go, you know, I think one day George is gonna come to my house and show my collection. And he was like, yeah, right, no way, never gonna happen. And then, literally the second we got this together, I texted him and I sent him a screenshot and I was like, remember when you said that it was never gonna happen? So I think you owe me some money now or something, because I made it happen. I definitely believe in speaking things into existence too, so not just with this, but with everything. This is kind of the shoe that started it all for me. It's not officially my first shoe, but it's my first shoe that I remember. A lot of Jordans honestly mean a lot to me because I started with Jordans and then I branched out into other things like KDs and Kyries and Kobe's and all that. I think I'm gonna get another pair of these because I just love them so much. I don't want to beat them to death.
Speaking of doubles, I'm not seeing too many doubles in here, but I've seen those shattered backboards, and that's one of my favorites of the last few years.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you got those.
Those are my babies, man. It took me a long time to get because people wanted crazy prices for them. Sure enough, I came across one on eBay for a really good price with Flight Club tag and everything, so I knew it was real. Bought them and loved them ever since. I worked for Providence Basketball for 4 years, and how it worked is the last couple of years I was on the payroll, so after every game we'd get between $15, $20 for food. One of the perks is I live here, so I would just go home and eat. So I would just put the money aside. So I let it stockpile for about the whole year, and end of the year comes, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get a shoe with this. Then I come across these for a good deal. Actually, it wasn't the whole amount. So I pulled the trigger on these. I've worn them like 3 or 4 times, but I definitely need to wear them some more. So I'm a huge Drake fan. I definitely ID a lot on Nike, but the problem, I mean, it costs money, so I don't order 95% of the ones I make. But for some reason, this one just really stuck out to me. I personally, don't have any really close connections to breast cancer, but for me, it lines up with like what I'm all about, which is awesome causes and helping people. And this was inspired by the Kobe that came out a few years back.
You're right here from Rhode Island, right?
Yep.
But you're a big Boston fan,
Yep.
big Beantown fan, right?
Yeah. I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I have all my Patriots stuff right there. I haven't missed watching or being at a game in 11 years. I go to camp 2 to 3 times a year out of the 3 weeks that they're there. When this came out, I actually missed them, these Robert Kraft Air Force Ones. And I was bummed. I was like, I just want them to have them. And I'd love to get them signed, and I didn't get them. And then when they made the Super Bowl this year, they restocked them, but the only way to get them was that you were a Patriots fan on your profile. So I got them pretty easily, and hopefully I can get them signed by Mr. Kraft someday. I just told you guys I'm a huge Boston fan. That doesn't mean I don't respect players on every team in every sport. So I have favorite players that aren't on the Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, whatever. And one of those players is Odell Beckham. So one of my things I said right away is I'm gonna recreate the catch and do it with these cruises because they matched perfectly and they were teammates at the time. And we went and we did it, and it was definitely one of my favorite pitches we've ever done, just because it came out exactly how I pictured it in my head, which doesn't always happen, you know what I mean? So, crazy story with these. I never thought I would own a pair of Yeezys ever. I love Yeezys not because they're hyped up, just because I support Kanye and what he does. I go to Sneakerhead in Chicago. I'm sitting at dinner with JC and Joni from Urban Necessities, Boo Scott, like 20 people. It was amazing. It was an awesome dinner, and I can't believe I was invited. But I told them that I didn't have any Yeezys, and they're like, "Oh, what? You don't like them?" And I said, "No, I love them. I just can't afford them." So then we were just talking about it, and dinner goes by. We're waiting for our ride outside. JC comes up to me, puts his arm around me. He's like, "Hey man, we're all gonna chip in and get you some Yeezys." I was like, "What?" And he goes, "We're all gonna chip in and get you some Yeezys." I'm like, "No." He goes, "Watch, tomorrow I'm gonna get you them at the show." So the next day comes, and I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, where's my Yeezys?" Like, I'm like, if it happens, that's awesome. If not, whatever. He comes around the corner with the box. He gives me the box. He said, "I told you, we got you, man." And he hands me these. And I wore them for the rest of the trip. And the comfort level is so crazy. It's unbelievable. I've been watching him for a long time, the store, just in general. And he was one of the ones that actually followed me within the first week. And that was one of those, wow, I can't believe he's following me moments. Shoes I actually have on my feet right now, the Bread ones. I have a family story with those. My uncle wasn't really a sneakerhead, but he had Jordans growing up. And one of the pairs he had was the original version of these from 1985. Obviously, I didn't know that until later, but my grandma kept them for 17 years maybe. And then one day they had a little hole in them, so she decided to throw them away. So I never let her live that down, especially because they were my size. He was my size at the time that he bought those. So I was looking at them like, damn, I could have, fixed those up and worn them. And then when they released last year and I finally got them, it was like a big like relief moment. Like I finally own these, because I feel like this is a sneaker that every sneakerhead needs in their collection.
Now I know we're here, for the shoes, and you have some crazy stuff and awesome stories, but you got to tell me about the Kobe Bryant autograph ball in the middle of all your Boston stuff. So Boston fans will kill you.
Listen, man, Kobe gets a pass, and the reason is I met him when I was 8 years old, April 5th, 2002, after a game against the Celtics in the Garden. And I know he gets a bad rap sometimes, like people saying, he's this, he's that. He was one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. He voluntarily signed like 8 things for me. I had 2 things. He made some dude that worked for the Celtics go grab more stuff. And he said, listen, he goes, I'm not leaving here until I sign more stuff for him. And he talked to me for like 25 minutes, and my whole family was there, and he talked to them. And ever since then, I'm a diehard Kobe fan. And so he gets a pass to be up there with the Celtics. So I've already mentioned, I'm a diehard Patriots fan. So if you're a diehard Patriots fan, there's a couple guys you need to have in your collection. Tom Brady being one of them. Julian Edelman, who is a legend now that he made that catch in the Super Bowl. Rob Gronkowski, Adam Vinatieri, Randy Moss. And most of these I've actually seen signed in person. It's not I went online and bought them. I've met these guys and watched them sign it. So I feel like that's cooler to me. Anyone can go online, and buy an autograph, but for me it's the chase almost, like getting to meet these guys and getting them to sign it. A Red Sox fan too, so I need to get a lot of those guys. Baseballs are a lot smaller, so I'm able to fit more of them. I got, guys from way back, such as Dick Williams, who was back in like the 60s and 70s. And then I got guys from today, like Xander Bogaerts and Mookie Betts and all the guys that I'm watching right now. And honestly, I met Pedro when I was 5 years old. And I actually have a picture of Pedro holding me.
The last thing we need to do is we need to start your new page with Cerebral jerseys. Because you have just as many jerseys as Kicks. So I want you to open this door behind me and show me the best jerseys that you own.
This has to do with the rarity of it and the personal connection. But I can tell you right now, this is one of the top 5 I own. A game-worn God Sham God Wizard jersey, which I did not get from him, but we're really close, really, really close. I went to Providence College from 2012 to 2016. He went in the 90s, but he left early, so he came back when I was a freshman. So we ended up being together for 4 years, every day, pretty much. This will never, ever leave my collection. I don't care what kind of offers I get. I've gotten so many offers on this jersey. People like from New York begging me for this jersey. I'm like, it's gonna get buried with me because it's just like too personal for me. This is another one that took me a long time to find and track down. Vince Carter is by far my favorite dunker of all time. I had the picture of the between the legs dunk on my wall for 15 years. I took it down to make room for the sneakers. The last one I'll talk about is this Shawn Kemp jersey. And the story behind this one is, obviously growing up I was really into jerseys. One of my friends at the time, he was older, he was in his 20s when I was like 7, had this jersey. And I said, if you ever get rid of it, give it to me. Like don't throw it away, don't sell it, give it to me. Long story short, he got rid of it and did not give it to me. So for years, I've been looking for this jersey, and just recently, actually, within the last 2 months, I finally tracked it down. And that was a cool moment, because another one of my childhood memories was wanting this jersey.